Ocean Alley on ABC Radio Canberra at 11 minutes past 2. Lovely to be with you on afternoons. Our next guest, he's a local legend and active community member. He's involved in a number of different initiatives right across our region. His name is Uncle Billy Tompkins. He's a Ngunnawal and Wiradjuri elder. He's running for the 2024 ACT Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander elected body. It's a body and a group of nominated people who represent First Nations people living in Canberra and take community ideas and concerns straight to the change makers. A similar idea, of course, to what was proposed with the Voice to Parliament. The ACT is the only jurisdiction in Australia with a democratically elected voice to government. Just another reason why we're special, in my opinion, my humble opinion. Elections for the new body will be occurring next month. So a big warm yumma and welcome to Uncle Billy Tompkins. Thank you so much for coming into the studios. It's lovely to meet you.
Lovely to meet you too. Yutamora.
Share with us a little bit about yourself, Uncle Tompkins.
Just call me Billy T.
Billy T.
Yeah, well, I was born in Cowra, 1965, and then I was stolen away from my family, and I was placed in a Mittagong's boys' home right up until I was from 8 months old right up until I was 20 years of age. So I went to Mittagong Primary, and then I went to Barrel High School. Didn't know much about myself, my Aboriginality or anything like that, history. I did meet Mum. Mum came and visited us once. I was in there with my brother, Les Tompkins, as well. He was a Witten as well. So from there, like I said before, I met Mum when I was 16. Then we went down to Mum's for Christmas. And then the following year, we went down to Mum's again. So that's when I was 17. I was in year 11 then. From Mum's, we went up to Young to do cherry picking. And that was my first go at cherry picking. I think I ate more cherries than I had in bucket. But anyway.
I'm sure everyone's the same. I'd be the same. Any excuse.
Yeah, so, and cherries was part of that, whole experience, up at Cherry Hill. Don Jasperissa was the owner of Cherry Hill, and his wife Dawn. I think they both of them have passed now, but we had some great fun there, Cherry Hill and Young. So one afternoon, I went down to the local pub to quench my thirst, and this old fella walked past me and my brother, and then he had another second look and said, "Oh, where you mob from?" And we said, "Oh, we live down at Mum's, and from there, who's your mum, who's your dad?" And I said, "Well, I don't know who my dad is. I've never met him. But Mum calls me Young Crow." And from that point on, he just looked at me and said, "That's my brother's name, Crow Williams, Harold Crow." And so he just gave me a big hug, and we both started crying and carrying on. And then he asked my mother to see if he could take me to Cowra the next day. So the next day I went to Cowra, me and my brother, and 1986. I met my family for the first time, the Williams and the Tompkins, all that originate from Cowra. When I say originate, that's where they all lived at the time. The Tompkins mob originate from Brungle in New South Wales, just outside of Tumut, and the Williams family originate from here in the ACT Ngunnawal country. So, we've got great-great-grandfathers and uncles and grandfathers and that go way back when they used to work and live on Cupacumalong Station back in the day. So from there, people started coming back from Cowra, from Young, from other places to come back onto the land, because back in the day when they declared Ngunnawal country as the capital of Australia, and they were going to call it the ACT, they removed all our mob away, onto Hollywood Mission or to Brungle Mission or to Cowra Irambi Mission, 32 acres. And then from there, you had the Depression, then you had working, people had to find work, and while they were away from home. So I think back in the day, my father, Harold Crowe Williams, and Matilda House came back to Canberra and settled back and brought their families, and and they probably were the first ones to come back to settle and claim Ngunnawal as their rightful birthplace.
If you've just joined us at 17 minutes past 2, you're listening to Uncle Billy Tompkins. He prefers Billy T. He's in the ABC Radio Canberra studio. He's sharing some of his personal story. He's talked about being stolen. He's talked about being reconnected with his family. And I just wanted to ask you, Billy T, what you remember about the difference that made in your life when you finally were able to reconnect with your ancestors, knowing your ancestors, your biological ancestors, the difference it's made.
Yeah, it made a big difference in my life. I mean, I was brought up white, under white law, under white care, under white education. I've come a long way since Bong Bong Road, and that's where I lived, for most of my 18 years as a young person. And meeting my family for the first time, getting to know the culture that I never grew up with, made a big difference in my life. Now I know I didn't know how to sing. I didn't know how to sing a language. I didn't know my language. I didn't know the laws, because we've still got our own law, and we've still got our own protocols now that govern those laws. So, being single-minded, just thinking of one idea, but having meet my family and know my culture now, and I've got many ideas, so you look at it that way. I write poems, I write songs, I sing, and that's another thing. We've got a dance group here in Canberra. It's Yugunbruck Dance Academy, and me and my sister, Serena Williams, runs that. So we've had it going since my two baby girls, since they were 2-3 years of age. So they're 13 and 16 now, and they're pretty much lead dancers in our dance group. So it's good to show them the culture at an early age. And I remember one time I done a welcome at the old Parliament House for the National Indigenous Professors Committee, and I had Minnie with me. She was only 4, and I was, I'm there doing a welcome, and I feel this tug on my pants, I said, "Oh, what's up, Dad?" And she said, "Dad, I'm hungry," real loud. So everyone got a little plate for her and put it down next to her. She was there eating. She was right then. But, they've grown up around culture all their life. They're still going, And it's, I'm very proud of the girls. They've come a long way too as well.
Now, Billy T, I understand that you work within circle sentencing in the ACT
Yes.
courts. For those who don't know, what is circle sentencing?
Well, Jalambani's circle sentencing is it's a round table court with a message stick in the middle. So back in the day, message sticks were passed around for a message to the next elder in the next clan or tribe. But at Jalambani, we used to pass that around to when it was your turn to speak, but we don't do that no more. We just leave it in the middle. It's there to show everyone what that is. We still have a magistrate there. We've got 4 elders, two women and 2 men. We've got the prosecutor, and then we've got the lawyer for the defendant. So, and what happens then is the case is assessed, and by the prosecutor and the lawyer in turn, and then from there we discuss with the defendant what was happening on the day. Why did you do it? How do you feel what you've done to that fella that you assaulted, or whatever. I shouldn't dive too much into it.
No, I'm just.
But you know what I mean.
We often talk about access to justice and the challenges that many in our community face in terms of accessing a fair go. What difference does circle sentencing, do you feel, in the ACT courts make to your people?
Yeah, what we do is John Barney's there to recognise Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people, not just by looking at them, but looking at their background, where they come from, how they were brought up, domestic violence, drug and alcohol abuse, sexual abuse, family abuse, and it goes on from there and there. It's going out stealing food because the parents couldn't buy none. So there's a whole range of things why that person is in jail now, or in front of us at John Barney Court. So from there, we discuss that with the court is adjourned, and then we discuss with the judge what the punishment should be. Our main objective is to keep Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people out of jail.
Yeah,
So,
and address that problem with incarceration and
That's right.
higher rates continued of incarceration. Now,
Still.
you're also nominated for Elder of the Year at the ACT NAIDOC Ball. What does that nomination mean to you, Billy T?
Well, it finally recognises me as an elder. I'm an old fella. But no, it's a great honour. My dad was an Elder of the Year back in his day. There's many other elders that have been recognised as people of interest in our community, and who have done a lot of things in the community just by doing their everyday thing that they love doing. I love going to court. I've been there for 4 years now, since 1920. And I do thank Michelle Abel for granting me that opportunity to come in and help our mob in difficult times, as well as Warrnambool Court as well. That's a children's court. We sit there and we have same as John Barney, but they're children, and we like to have discussions out of court with the children. Ask them what's going on, why are you doing this? Why are you turning this way? From good to bad, is it bad influences around you? Is it people at school, bullying you, or is there trouble at home?
That could be a really powerful intervention.
That's right.
So what a magical time for you in your life, Billy T, being nominated for Elder of the Year and now also in the running for the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander elected body. How did that come about?
I think my calendar's full. Yeah. No, it's, I like keeping busy. I do 3 days a week at John Barney Court, and then we've got Warrnambool on the Friday for the children's court. So
You got time in your schedule for another thing.
Yeah. So I got 1 day there to sort out something.
Why are you running for a position within the body, apart from the fact that you got the time in your diary?
Well, I'm very passionate about my community here, and family. There are a lot of people out there that say they want new voices in the elected body. I'm just one of them. So if I can make a difference in my community, and others who want to join the elected body, new voices, new ideas, new start.
In using your voice, if you get that opportunity, what are the issues that you'd like to focus on if you get elected? What change do you want to see?
Free parking. I spoke to Rachel Smith about that. For the elders who work at Jalambani, they need special car park for themselves because they're elders. You've got to look after your elders. And paying up to $30 a day for parking for where you work shouldn't be happening for the elders. So that might be one of mine. And Rachel Stephen-Smith said she put that on her calendar. So
on her
hopefully.
to-do list. I just want to apologise. I didn't mean to be disrespectful in laughing because I think you have a lot of support from the community more broadly around free parking. But I'm so grateful that you explained the significance, the barrier, $30 a day for elders. What else needs to change?
Oh, there's a lot that needs to change. Whether as a group of the elected body, how we discuss that, if we are elected, we'll dive into that when we do. Or if we get elected.
Well, very best of luck as you go about having more conversations with community and different media outlets as well, and talking about your tilt at the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander elected body. And thank you so much for just sharing some of your personal story with us and giving us a bit more of an insight into your life and your story. Billy T, thank you.
No worries, and thank you for Jess for inviting me here to come on air and discuss, things in the community.
We hope to have you back many more times.
No worries.
Billy T on ABC Radio Canberra. You are listening to Afternoons. It's terrific to be keeping you company.